filmmaker Mira Nair joining us via Skype. And Mira Nair has been very vocal on the Citizenship Act protests, particularly with the arrest of actor and Congress party worker Sadaf Jafar in Uttar Pradesh. She was part of Mira Nair's A Suitable Boy, the series that has just been filmed for the BBC. Mira Nair, thank you so much for joining us on The Big Fight tonight. First, I'd like to ask you, about the bigger question we're asking this evening. As someone, who represents India internationally, how do you think the last few months have played out for India and its democracy on the world stage?
Well, it's both. It's extraordinary, inspiring in some sense to have the people of India, the students of India, beyond political parties, just rise up and protest the secularism that this country fought for freedom from the British, the secularism that we all are so proud of, that is being damaged. And beyond political parties, people are taking to the streets and demanding to be heard on this. So that's inspiring. But the other side of it is the extraordinary violence that has gone along in some states. And I'm really here not so much to speak about India's vision on the world stage, but more really to plead for the release of Sadaf Jafar, who is an extraordinary teacher, a single mother, a young activist, but joining the protests in Lucknow, and has been brutally beaten and jailed since December 19th, forbidden really for any medicine. She's bleeding internally in the jails, which are freezing, and she's beyond not even given a mattress or just a raggedy blanket. Her children are small and alone through these holidays, and there seems to be no recourse. They've locked her up and thrown out the key, and that is not the justice, that is not the India that we fought for. And that is really why I am consumed, really, just as a person who has worked with Sadaf, who knows her as an extraordinarily peace-loving and a soft-spoken,
in a sense, what you're saying,
pacifist individual.
In fact,
and that is really why I've chosen to take to the stage of appealing for her
release. Absolutely. But I guess in a sense what you're saying is that perhaps before we start worrying about what the world thinks of us, we should worry about what our own citizens think of our democracy.
Exactly.
Because ultimately, democratic protests that are peaceful, that should happen in a democracy, are being sort of muzzled in this way.
Exactly. I mean, what do you expect a citizen to do when faced with laws that are essentially unjust and essentially opposing, what we stand in India for, which is really inherent secularism, which is really what is being threatened. And I am extraordinarily charged by the people and the students who are just not taking this and who are going out into the streets peacefully, mostly very peacefully, as Sadaf was.
Well, Mira Nair, though, just to come back to the original question, in the sense that, you work with internationally, like I said, you represent India on the international stage in a very different way, using, in a sense, India's soft power. And would you say that India's biggest strength to the rest of the world has been the fact that we are the world's largest democracy and that we have a plural culture? So when you talk to people about India today and what has happened here in the last few months, do you sense a shift in international opinion just from people you are interacting with and their impressions? I mean, we've even seen Hollywood stars tweeting about the protests.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is not the India that they know of or that they admire, for sure. And it is an extraordinary sort of response from not just the leading newspapers, but from ordinary individuals who know India as this place that somehow has the resilience to fight for itself and to fight for its freedom, right from 47 onwards. So yes, I mean, everywhere people are calling me and saying, is India burning? What is going on? We are with the students. What can we do? What can we sign? Well, people are really energized at the same time, and as they are shocked by this India, by this face of India, because it seems to be sort of blatant, it seems to be now transparent. It's not protected by different screens of politeness. It is clearly out there and and entering our constitution unbelievably. So yes, people are definitely shocked and concerned for people's safety.